If you're a longtime fan of the Friday edition of the Locked On NFL podcast, you know we like to play this game called Cap or No Cap, and it's going to be the quarterback edition here as we get ready to see who ends up where this year in the NFL with all these different quarterbacks looking to get new homes. Maybe they'll get traded, maybe they won't. We'll talk about that here. I'm Chris Carter of Locked On Steelers podcast. You know, my co-host is your boy Q of the Locked On Raiders podcast. And it's always a fun time here on the Locked On NFL podcast. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On NFL, your daily NFL podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carter, here with my friend and co-host, your boy Q. You can find this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, but of course also on YouTube. Hit the like button if you're enjoying this video on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button to get all our daily content here on the Locked On NFL podcast. Rate us 5 stars, give us positive comments on Apple Podcasts. That helps us out too. Q, how you doing, man?
Man, blessed. It's always good, man, getting together with you on a Friday, talking some NFL, and especially on a day when we're going to do some cap and no cap quarterbacks edition. Man, I can't wait. I have no idea where this is going to go, but it's always a fun one.
It's always a fun one. Cap or no cap is when we ask if people are capping. We're going to stay a statement. You know, one of us says a statement. We ask the other one, am I capping or not? And so we've compiled a list. Now, quarterbacks are always the talk. Where do they land? Who do they go to? We're going to play a game of cap or no cap on where we think these guys are going, or do we think they're going anywhere? Do they think they're staying home? We're going to find out. And you know what?
Just for the record, just so for anyone who's just tuning in for the very first time, when we started doing cap or no cap, we didn't even know what the hell it meant.
We did. We had to ask Q's daughter, and we were like, "Wait, so it's cap when?" So for those who don't know what cap or no cap means,
yes.
if you're capping, that means you're lying. That means your intent. You know, you're telling a fib. You're just talking to talk. But if you're not, if you're saying no cap, that means you for real. And honestly, we didn't know which one was which. We knew it was a popular saying by the kids these days that were on TikTok and stuff. And so Q's daughter was walking by one time. He was like, hey, what's capping me? He's like, oh, I mean, you tell. I was like, oh, okay, we got it right. And so that's kind of how
it came to be.
So that's how it started. But how it's continuing is we're talking about some quarterbacks. And let's get a big name right off the bat. Q, am I capping or am I not capping when I tell you that Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod himself, is, I don't care what anybody says, he's returning to Green Bay next year?
Oh, man, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Of course, Aaron Rodgers is the biggest name right now talking when it comes to the NFL and quarterbacks. Man, I want to say that you're capping because I feel like that there's got to be some kind of movement. You know, he put out the Instagram and the Twitter and all that, and it felt like a goodbye. I even tweeted out, I said, this sounds like a goodbye to me. But I think ultimately, man, at the end of the day, the best chance for Aaron Rodgers to win is right where he's at. And I think that he's still, even though he's a weird dude, he's a different dude. Let's call him a different dude. He's that guy. I think ultimately the goal is to win. So I'm going to say that you're not capping. He's going to end up in Green Bay this next year. Him and probably Devontae Adams as well.
There you go. We on the same page there. So I'm right. All right. Let's continue. I want you to give me a quarterback. Give me a quarterback statement, and I'll tell you if you capping or not.
All right. How about this? How about Jimmy Garoppolo will be the starting quarterback in 2022 for the Indianapolis Colts? Cap or no cap?
Ooh, I like that. You know what? I'm saying you're not capping because I don't think that the Colts are sticking with Carson Wentz. I don't think the Colts really want a superstar quarterback right now. They want to make sure the offensive line is good. They want to make sure that Jonathan Taylor's good, and they want to up that defense. This is a team that's built around that, and they want a better quarterback. I'm not saying that they don't.
Right.
But Jimmy G is less prone to mistakes than Carson Wentz.
And that's saying a lot. Because Jimmy G makes some mistakes, but what he does is win.
Yeah, he finds a way to win. But what Jimmy does also do is when you look at how they perform, Jimmy G also makes sure that when the game's on the line, he's he may not make all the plays for you, but he's at least going to, keep you in the running. He's at least going to say, he's at least going to try his best to avoid the the killer play that could end, that could end it for you. And I think that's the biggest factor, is that, when it comes down to it, Jimmy's at least the guy that's going to keep you guys alive. And that's all the Niners need. They didn't ask a whole lot for him.
Right.
From him this year. Though it's crazy enough, as I say that, Jimmy G did throw 12 interceptions to Carson Wentz's 7 last year.
Right. But I mean, Carson Wentz didn't play in every game. I mean, and there was other scenarios. They're obviously a run first team. Yeah. So did you say I'm not capping or I am capping?
I said you're not capping. I think that's a great place for Jimmy G to land.
I do too, because I think they have a strong defense. I know that they have a really strong run game. Matt Eberflus now is no, he's not the head coach. He's in Chicago, excuse me. But Frank Reich is still there. I think that Jimmy G would be a good fit there. So yeah, I'm not capping. I think Jimmy G ends up going from San Francisco to Indianapolis because it's now the Trey area time in San Fran.
The Trey Lance. Oh man, that's gonna be fun. All right. Last one of the first segment. I'm gonna hit you with this one.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill
will
not be a Tennessee Titan in a year.
Ooh, in a year, as in AKA this upcoming year in 2022?
The year after this upcoming season.
Oh, so he's going to play with Tennessee this year, but then they're going to get rid of him after.
This is his last year because they're getting tired of him.
Okay, see, that just changed the game, because I was going to say that he's not going to be there this year. I was convinced that they were going to move on from him. So I guess if I say that he's not going to be there next year, I'm going to say
he's definitely not going to be there in 2 years.
Right. Then he definitely won't be there in 2 years. So you said that he's not going to be. So that means that you're not capping.
Hey, wow. We have gone straight no cap.
But I think that's the thing. When it goes to Tannehill, I think that they know that they need to upgrade that position. That's the weak link. There's no reason that Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times in a playoff game at home and they found a way to lose, except for the fact that Tannehill turned the ball over 3 times. So I think that they have to move on from Tannehill. I don't know who they're going to get in that position. I don't know if they're going to be able to hustle him as quick as this year. I think for Mike Vrabel and company, they need to get it done this year. So that's where I'm going to go and lean with that one.
That's a fair assessment on your part. I think that's I think that's an interesting point. Now, I think that they're going to give him that. That's why I said next year, because I don't even believe I don't think they're going to ditch him this season. But I do think that they're getting tired, and they want to win. They got Quentin Nelson, they got Jonathan Taylor, they got Darius Leonard. They want to win with this crew, and eventually they're going to take a shot at a quarterback.
Darius Leonard's in Indy. He's in Indy.
Yes.
You're talking
about I'm sorry. I'm mixing everything up. We were just talking about Carson. I'm still talking about Carson Wentz. We were just talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sorry. But Derek Henry, Kevin Byard, I'm going over a whole different AFC South. But the AFC South is all the same. They all look good for 1 minute. They run the ball well, and then they stink when it actually comes up. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ryan Tannehill. I made you Carson Wentz. But honestly, you're the same person.
There it is. Boom. Hey, they're both replaceable, and they both should be replaced this year. I like that, man. Well, that's segment 1. That's good stuff. We went over Aaron Rodgers, we went over Jimmy G, and we just went out with Ryan Tannehill. There you go. You got me thinking Carson Wentz right now, and that's a guy that we're going to talk about as well. So there you go. All right, good segment.
We are just in a minute here, but first we got to talk to you guys about betonline.net. Football season is over, but basketball season is full steam ahead with both pro and college hoops well underway. From all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, betonline.net is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net's your best sort for hockey, boxing, UFC odds, and all the different sports that are available. And you can get them right at betonline.net. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action at BetOnline, where the game starts. Back here on the Locked On NFL podcast, I'm Chris Carter here with your boy Q, going over quarterbacks in our cap or no cap game, where we ask each other questions and you see, are we capping or are we not capping? All right, cap or no cap. Russell Wilson, Q. will be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Wow.
This time for next season.
Yeah, you're capping. You're capping. Russell Wilson will not be in Tampa Bay. He's not going to be the quarterback there. I would be shocked if he's not the quarterback in Seattle, but there's plenty of time to figure out what's going to happen with that situation. I'll say this. I wouldn't be super shocked if he was out of Seattle, but at the same time, my gut feeling tells me he returns to Seattle. I look at the quarterback carousel. I think that Indianapolis, as we talked about in segment 1, would be a good location. I think with their offensive line, there's a lot of these quarterbacks that would be good fits in Indy that aren't named Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? Because they have that strong run game. And remember what Russell Wilson did with Marshawn Lynch and a strong run game and a strong defense in Seattle. That's how he won a ring. So honestly, the best fit for him would probably be Indy. So, I mean, I said Jimmy G is going to end up there, but Indy probably would be a best location for him. I don't think Indy has the assets and everything that they need to get what it's going to take to get Russell Wilson out of Seattle. So I'll say that he's not going to – you're capping that he's going to be at Tampa Bay, but I wouldn't be shocked if he's not anywhere. I mean, if he's not in Seattle in 2022. He could be playing somewhere else. I don't know where it's going to be, though.
Okay. We had to get one capping in there. We've been doing a lot of no cap this episode. All right. Hit me with yours.
Okay, let's talk about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. I mean, we've already replaced him. Basically, I replaced him with Jimmy G. So let's say Carson Wentz will be the starting quarterback in 2022 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I knew you was going to pick the Steelers. I knew it.
You cover like a glove. Cap or no cap?
See, I hate you because it makes sense. Oh, you're killing me, Q. I have to say no cap.
Wow, really? Carson Wentz, the quarterback of the Steelers? I'm not gonna lie to you. I was lying to you. I don't. In my heart of hearts, I don't think that Carson Wentz is cut out for Pittsburgh. I just don't think that's. I think that Mike Tomlin would destroy him because he would make some kind of mistake. Tomlin would go all in on him. But, I mean, hell, you cover the Pittsburgh Steelers, so maybe you know something I don't know. So what's the skinny, man? Carson Wentz in the Steel City? What's the thoughts?
So we have officially established on the Locked On Steelers podcast, thanks to our guest from last Monday, Mark Caboli of The Athletic, he has established the Wentz wagon. There are we have different hype trains that we've been building for free agent quarterbacks that are supposed to come to the Steelers. We have the Wentz wagon and we have the Trubisky train. None of these are of my design, Q. I don't pick them. I just have my guests make them up.
Let that train stay in Buffalo, man.
Now you telling me I don't want. I think the Wentz wagon can stay in Indy. I don't think it's the option, but there's a lot of people that are making it make sense. If they were to cut him, which Indy has suggested they might, if they can't trade him, the Steelers will be looking for a veteran who doesn't cost them that much to sign and can come in and compete with Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, and a rookie that I think they will draft, whether that's a first or second round rookie like Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell, or it's a later rookie like Caleb Ellaby or Bailey Zapp. So for that reason, I'm not saying that Carson Wentz will be the starting quarterback, but I don't think you're capping. I don't think one would be capping to say that it would happen, because I could see a way for this to actually work, as some people might think that I'm crazy for saying that.
Wow. Okay. Big time. Hey, I didn't know that, but I was originally capping, but now, hey, I'm doubling down. Or I'm thinking that maybe I was right on accident about that.
You might have been just stumbled on some genius right there. That's how you do it most of the time, Q. Anyways,
I do, man. I roll.
All right. Let me hit you with this one. Jameis Winston will not be a starting quarterback next year anywhere.
Oh, you're capping. You're absolutely capping. Okay. He's going to be the Saints quarterback. Okay. Jameis was doing some really good things before he tore his ACL.
I was indeed capping.
Yeah, he was balling, man, and I hate that for him. He's already bounced back. There's videos floating around Twitter of him going through some quarterback drills, showing that he's looking like he's healthy already. So he's done everything. It looks like off the field, in the physical therapy room, in the weight room, to get back to where he needs to be. I think that he's definitely going to be. I think he's going to be playing, and he'll be a starting quarterback in 2022, and I think he'll be with the New Orleans Saints. So yeah, you're capping.
Okay, that's fair.
And you were capping.
I was. I totally was.
Okay.
I think he's going to start. And I think the Saints are the best place to do it. He was already there. He did show some success. He just needs to get healthy.
Right. And Dennis Allen is familiar with him, even though he's a defensive coordinator now, the head coach, but he's already familiar with him, so he know what he could bring to the table. So yeah, I think it makes sense.
It makes sense. And on top of it making sense, they don't got much. Like their cap strung out.
Right.
So they need some cheap options. They can make him a cheap one. And keep it moving. So there you have it. We talked about Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston. Q called my bluff that I was saying Russell Wilson was going to Tampa Bay. I did not call Q's bluff that Carson Wentz was going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though I might have given him a hint that it might actually happen.
Yeah.
And Jameis Winston is staying in New Orleans. I was totally capping there. All right, one more round of cap or no cap with quarterbacks. And we got three big names to finish you off with here. We got Deshaun Watson.
Boom.
Derek Carr.
Boom.
And wait a second. Tom Brady. We got some big ones to do. So stay tuned. We got some crazy quarterbacks to talk about in this final segment. But first, I got to talk to you about Built Bar. It's the time of the year where people start giving up on their New Year's resolutions, but not this year. You're going to get it right because you're going to stick to your eating resolutions, and Built Bar is here to help. Because Built Bar is the protein bar that makes you feel like you're actually enjoying eating the protein bar. Have you tried their new Puffs flavors? If you haven't, you're missing out because they're the best tasting Built Bars ever. Puffs are their first ever protein-infused marshmallows. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, and they're not just a protein bar, they're a treat. And they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite. You can get incredible flavors like yummy cinnamon churro. You can get coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. All of them are so good, and they're going to be your new favorites. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate, and they're healthy for you because they pack only 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar, and only 4 net carbs. But then they do pack 17 grams of protein. Compare that to the average candy bar that has 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. That's a great opportunity for you to be eating right. There's so many flavors to choose from, too. You can get coconut, almond, peanut butter, brownie, double chocolate, raspberry, cookies and cream, salted caramel, mint brownie, all of those flavors available to you when you go to Built.com. When you go to Built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15, LOCKED15. You'll get 15% off your next order at Built.com. And welcome back to the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm Chris Carter. He's your boy Q. We are doing cap or no cap on where quarterbacks will land this year. Q.
It's been a lot of fun, man. I like it. Let's keep this party rolling.
Oh, I'm ready to keep it rolling. And this is the bonus round. This is like when Steve Harvey says, all right, in Family Feud, you may have gotten all those points in the last 4 rounds, but the 5th round is the one when you can get all the points to beat the team that's been beating you all game long. This is the real round.
Don't mess it up, Chris. That's where they say don't mess it up, Chris. Because they know I'm going to come through clutch. You're going
to come through. You're going to come
through.
I'm
clutch, man. I got that clutch gene. You know what I mean? I'm a winner.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what you are. All right. Deshaun Watson.
Woo.
Big name.
He's a winner.
Now, I could cheat. I could say Deshaun Watson isn't even going to play next year. But I want to that's too easy or too broad of a comment.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go specific for you, and I'm gonna bring up a team that you talked about a lot this past year.
Oh, I already know where you're going now. I know exactly where you're going.
Deshaun Watson will be a Carolina Panther.
Fighting Matt Rules.
Fighting Matt Rules, baby. They're going to be bringing Deshaun Watson to pair with Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. Actually, don't know if Anderson's still there. But point being, they're going to have some weapons. Now, am I capping or not?
I think first of all, for the Panthers to get Deshaun Watson, I think Christian McCaffrey is going the other way. I think Christian McCaffrey has to go to Houston. I think that's part of the package, you know. I think that Matt Rule really wants him to be the quarterback. I really do. I think that that's the goal. I just don't know if he can clear up all those allegations he's got. He's got 22 of them.
That's a lot of allegations.
You know what I mean? There's no team in their right mind, even the Washington football team, no disrespect, David Harrison, but even the Washington football team, I don't think they have the stones to say, let's go ahead and bring this dude in without knowing if he's going to be cleared. You know what I mean? And that's just
here's where I stand on this, and this is why I think it could be interesting.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers, I believe, only have a first-round pick, a fourth-round pick, 2 fifths, and a sixth.
Okay.
So, but their first-round pick is the 6th overall pick. You might not even need to see. And here's my reason with this: a Houston Texans team. Why would I take Christian McCaffrey?
Why wouldn't you? He's a dynamic player. He's a dynamic player, but he's part of it. You know, it's not just one pick. Watson's a hell of a player. He's going for multiple assets. Number 6 overall, Christian McCaffrey, and maybe something else. Yeah, absolutely, I can see that.
See, here's my thing with that: is that Christian McCaffrey is an already paid running back who's had injury issues. That's where I think, like, you know what? Nah, I'll take your first round this year and your first round next year, and then we'll call it even. But I do think that also it'll play into a factor. We don't know what's happening with Deshaun Watson. Will he even play? That could also impact his value. So
I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to say that you're not capping. I'm saying that Deshaun Watson's suiting up for the Fighting Matt Rules next year. Carolina, I'm going to say no cap. I know I'm going out on a limb, really, and I can easily be proven wrong, but I'm going to figure out, or I think that they're going to figure out a way to get these things cleared up. Of these situations, obviously money is going to be exchanging hands, and then they're going to pull the trigger on it, and Matt Rule will have his quarterback. Because look, if he doesn't get it right this year, he's probably going to get fired anyway.
Exactly. So he's going to make a big move. He's going to try and make it happen. And the Carolina Panthers. That's why I was not capping. So you were correct. All right, hit me with yours.
All right, so we said we're talking Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr. Let me go ahead and go to Derek. No, I don't want to do Derek. Yeah, I'll do Derek Carr. I have to.
You cover him, baby.
I know, but it's just going to sound weird coming from me. But just because, like you said, I cover him. How about this? How about Derek Carr? Derek Carr will be the starting quarterback for the Washington football team in 2022.
Oh, you capping? No, I'm sorry. Your Raiders. I know that they want to make some moves, but after the year that they've had and the way that Derek Carr stuck it out, they would be crazy to get rid of him. You are capping, sir, because I look at that and I say, if I'm the Raiders, all the things, the reason I was in the playoffs this year is because Derek Carr is my quarterback. And
okay, how about this? Derek Carr is going to get swapped straight up for Russell Wilson in Seattle.
Okay, now that you could sell me on. Because Washington, what you gonna get? Like you gonna get some draft.
Number 11 overall and some other capital, obviously.
They're gonna want a quarterback that can carry them through the hard times.
Right.
I say you're capping about Washington. I could buy into Russell Wilson a little bit, but at the same time, I also don't buy into it because I still don't think that the Raiders would put it like, we're happy with Derek Carr. We want to build around Derek Carr, actually give him a shot. I think he's a bit beloved by the fan base after all the things that they've gone through and how well he stood in the fire. You want that guy you want him on that wall. You need him on that wall. And that man is Derek Carr. So I'm saying you cap it. Am I right?
Yeah, you're definitely right. I think that they're about to extend him and they're going to try to build around him. And I wouldn't be shocked if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return to Green Bay and Devontae Adams ends up finding his way out of Green Bay. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders find a way to get Devontae Adams. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. I just think that that would be a hell of a combo, Carr to Adams, and taking them back to their Fresno State days. So I think Carr is the guy for every reason that you mentioned. Some of the fan base loves him, some of them hate him, but it's so funny whenever you talk to other fan bases or people that cover other teams, you say, hey, if Carr was available, would you want him? Hell yes. That's all I keep hearing from. I heard that from Peter Bukowski. I heard that who covers the Packers. Heard that from David Harrison, who covers the Washington football team. Corbin Smith covers Seahawks, said that would be a trade that he could see Russell Wilson actually making, or the Seahawks making, is Wilson to the Raiders in exchange for Carr, because they would have an established quarterback. So it's so funny that when you might not be in love with someone, all of a sudden everyone else on the outside world is too. So that kind of lets you know that maybe you want to reevaluate situations. So I think that Carr sticks in Las Vegas, no doubt about it. Go ahead and let's close things out.
Closing things out strong.
Yep.
With the man Tom Brady himself.
Had to do his last just because he gets that respect.
He gets that respect. Q, I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady is done. Finito. Finished. He ain't never coming back. He's acted in movies. He don't want to play no more football. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how many times he's going to be like, maybe he might try. He's not pulling no Brett Favre's. Tom Brady is done in the NFL. He will never play a down again. But am I capping?
I think you are. I think you're capping. I think that Tom Brady, even though he came out and said he's retired, I think that he still has an itch to play. I think he's one of those that probably will never be able to walk away until he just has to walk away. And I wouldn't be shocked if his next team, I know I said earlier that it's the Trey area time in the Bay Area, but I actually wouldn't be shocked to see Tom Brady say, hey, young fella, let me go ahead and hold this down here in San Francisco for 1 year, and you sit behind me and learn. I think that you're capping. I think that he plays one more year at least, and it's in San Fran with Kyle Shanahan and company, and Trey Lance gets to sit behind the GOAT and maybe pick up a thing or two. I'm not sold on Trey Lance being ready to play, and I think Kyle Shanahan still thinks he could win. So I'm saying you're capping. He's going to play in San Francisco next year.
Well, too bad for you, Q, because I was totally not capping. He's done. I don't care what nobody. I don't care about San Fran's offers him.
Why?
I don't care what because he's about to act in a movie. He's had his career. He's finished. Because
he's going to act. Because he wants to act. So what?
Because he's going to do some other stuff. His wife is like, listen, you are staying home. You ain't getting hit up by those dudes no more. Did you look? Tom Brady was bleeding in that last game. Tom Brady's like, I don't bleed my own blood.
Oh gosh,
get out of here with that. He's not doing that.
That just built up his street cred a little.
Is flown by him. Tom Brady is done.
All right, finished. I don't think he's done. And I don't think he's coming back in week 8 like some people say. Oh, he'll be ready. I think that he plays the whole season next year, and I think it's going to be in San Francisco. So there you go.
Listen, I'm not. I'm saying that to put on a face here, but like if Tom Brady came back next year as a San Francisco 49er, I'd be like, great, we got this guy again. This is more so of just me hoping that the era of Tom Brady would just be done so we can just talk about other quarterbacks.
I think everyone wants to do that, but I just think that I don't know. I feel like that his announcement to say he was retired was forced because the weekend that was, and Adam Schefter from ESPN had kind of, put it out there already that and everyone celebrated his retirement. Then all of a sudden he immediately came out and was like, yeah, I'm retiring. I don't think that was on his terms. I think that he wants to do it on his terms and say, hey, let me do it when I'm ready to do it. So that's why I think that he's officially going to retire, but not till the following year.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
I hear you. Well, there you have it. Cap or no cap. We played a whole game of where quarterbacks are going to be. Tell us where we were wrong. Let us know. You, as always,
we're never wrong.
We're never wrong. Come on.
Except for the show that we did last week was an apology show for being wrong.
For all the time.
Exactly.
We're gonna need an apology show after this episode.
Right.
But hey, that's why we like to have fun here. We like to play games. We like to chat it up, and we hope that you had fun here watching or listening to the Locked On NFL podcast, the Friday edition with Chris Carter, your boy QQ. It's always fun doing the show with you, my friend. Let people can find you, follow you, and get where you work.
All Twitter, man. Twitter. Tweet at your boy Q254. That's where you can find me. That's where I put all the links out to my shows, Locked On Raiders, Locked On Bets, of course, Locked On NFL with Chris Carter. All my radio show, all my guests I have, I always tweet them out. I mean, everything you can. It's like a GPS. It's a tracking device. You can find me on Twitter at your boy Q254. What about you, Carter Critiques? Tweet.
Why you gotta say tweet?
Because that's the noise it makes when you tweet. If you have it on sound.
Is that what you? Is it like you Thomas the Tank Engine now? Like what are you doing, man? Tweet.
That's what you do. Tweet.
I haven't had sound on my phone in like years.
I haven't either. That's a radio run.
So how do you know what it sounds like?
I don't either. I do. I just know because I've heard other people's. Tweet. That's what it is. It's a bird. So why wouldn't it tweet? That's why it's called tweet. It's a bird. Like put them two together. It's like I don't need to hear a cow to know what it sounds like. I don't need to go stick my nose in a pile of dump and I know it smells. You know what I mean? Like, jeez. If I see a pile of sitting on the ground, like a dog just walked by and deposited something on the ground, I know what it smells like without going and sniffing it. I mean, come on, dog. Let's put 2 and 2 together, bro.
What does it have to do? You just sounded corny saying tweet.
I don't know. Just making a point.
Anyways, I'm Chris Carter, co-host here in the Locked On NFL podcast, the Friday edition. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Carter Critiques. You can check out my work on the Locked On Steelers podcast, just like you find the work on the Locked On NFL podcast and Q's work on Locked On Raiders on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, and YouTube. Subscribe to all of those channels in all the different ways that you get your podcast, because that really helps us out. Rate us 5 stars, leave us positive comments on Apple Podcasts. Those help us out as well. Thanks so much for checking us out. It's been another great Friday edition. The show will be back Monday with Bo Brack breaking things down from what happened in the NFL over the weekend.
Tweet.